Hello and greetings from Oglethorpe University. My name is Chris Summers and I'm Oglethorpe's Director of Financial Aid. I wanted to use this video to kind of use it as a walkthrough of an award letter so that you can then take that information, apply it to your own award letter, and use that as you're making decisions about the upcoming fall semester. So I'm going to go ahead and share a sample award letter here. If you haven't looked at it already, your specific award letter should be available to you through your Petrel portal. So if you want to go ahead and grab a copy of that, put it in front of you, you can use it to follow along as we kind of walk through this sample. Just a couple of things of note here right at the top. The award letter should be for the upcoming 2020-2021 academic year. It is for the entire year, so the award letter is built to help you for both the fall and spring semesters. And really this top section is going to be the most important section of the award letter. It's where each of your award letters are going to be unique because we've taken the information you've given us from your FAFSA and from your admission application and from your transcript and your standardized test scores, from what you did at Scholarship Weekend, information we get from the state of Georgia. All of it is coming together to put together a listing of awards, and that listing of awards is going to be unique for each student. Now, I'm not going to go through each of these individual awards. We're going to save that for future presentations. We're going to have an upcoming presentation on federal aid. We're going to have an upcoming presentation on aid that's coming from the state of Georgia, an upcoming presentation on institutional aid, an upcoming presentation on loans, on verification, on all of the things that might be in your award letter, and some of the things that we'll be looking forward to working with you on over the next few months. There will be future presentations on that specific information. So please stay tuned and look forward to seeing those. For right now, I'm going to go ahead and stick to information that's applicable for everybody. So everybody should have a fall term and a spring term. If you received a letter from the Office of Admission announcing your merit scholarship, for instance, Petey had been awarded a presidential scholarship for $22,000 a year. That $22,000 or that merit scholarship level was split between the fall and spring semesters to help equally towards both semesters. So your annual merit scholarship total, as well as all of your financial aid, has been split equally across the fall and spring terms. You should all have a total for the fall as well as a total for the spring, which should come together to give you your annual total of all awards offered. I will say that if you filed a FAFSA and you were found eligible for federal aid, part of your award listing, you will find Stafford loans. The Stafford loans are represented in the totals here. If you plan to use your Stafford loans, that's great. They're already built into these totals. If you're not planning to use your Stafford loans, you may want to take that into account as you're looking at the totals for the fall, spring, and the total for the year. Now, regarding what you would like to use next year and what you might not want to use next year. For instance, your loans. If you don't want to use your loans, that's great. Our assumption is that you actually don't. We assume, on the other hand, that you do want your grants, you do want your scholarships, you want every bit of what we call gift assistance. But if you want to go ahead and click on the link on your award letter and fill out the financial aid acknowledgement form, that will concretely tell us what you do and what you don't want from your award letter. So that is the purpose of the financial aid acknowledgement form, and I would urge you to fill it out. I will also say, though, that in the coming months, if you change your mind, if you have decided, for instance, you don't want your subsidized Stafford loan, and then we get to July and you decide, you know what, I actually do want my Stafford loan, you can make those changes. The financial aid acknowledgement is going to help us understand what you do and don't want right now, but you can make those changes later. Moving on to the next section here of the award letter, we've got your 2021 or 2020, 2021 costs. These costs are estimated based on the assumption that you're going to be a full-time student. And actually, so real quick, going right back to the awards, all of your awards that we've put together are based on the assumption you're going to be a full-time student. So if you do not plan to be full-time, if you have a reason you can't be full-time, that is okay, but let's talk about it because that's going to change your awards. The costs that are listed on your award letter also assume that you're going to be a full-time student. So for the fall semester, this is the total of full-time tuition and fees you can expect for the fall. Same thing for the spring, and then we've got annual totals listed here. Real quick note about room and board. The room and board amount that's listed on here is based on the rate of room and board that's consistent with Trayer Hall. Trayer Hall is primarily occupied by first-year students. So that's been used on your award letter as an estimate. This isn't saying that you are living in Trayer Hall. It's not even saying that that we expect you to be living on campus. If you're going to be commuting and you live within 25 miles, that's fine. You've got that option. The room and board figure that's on here is simply to help you all estimate and understand what tuition, room, and board will look like together for the fall, spring, and then the total for the year. So these are your estimated costs for the year, which you can compare against the award totals that you've got listed above. And then loan options, we've got some basic information here about the loan options that many of our students look into. Again, we will have another upcoming presentation to go a bit more into the details of your loan options, but if that's something that you're thinking about initially, we've given you a little bit of basic information to at least help you with that process from the onset. So I hope that this basic walkthrough has been helpful for you. If you've got some specific questions, please feel free to contact the Financial Aid Office. Financial Aid Office can be reached via email at finaid@oglethorpe.edu. Certainly, you can also reach out to your admission counselor. Your admission counselor's got a copy of your award letter and is well versed in the ins and outs of financial aid. And then as I've mentioned a couple of times, we are going to have future presentations about more specific subjects and types of awards and things that are coming up in the next few months. We're going to have recorded presentations, and we're also going to have a couple of webinars to give you an opportunity to come in with some questions to go ahead and ask those to myself or a counselor in a live setting so we can go ahead and interact and get your questions answered. So I hope this has been helpful, and I look forward to working with you in the future.